Oh my goodness, can you believe that England's last cave dwellers were still living in their unique rock homes up until the mid-20th century? It's just astonishing. These incredible abodes were nestled in a rural area near Birmingham, in a place called Kinver Edge. Over several centuries, multiple families chose to make their homes in what started as a couple of sandstone caves. They gradually expanded these caves into a series of rock houses that became quite the tourist attraction. Remarkably, these rock dwellings weren't just quaint, they were actually quite advanced for their time. Visitors flocked from all over the West Midlands and beyond to witness these modern cave people firsthand. Hundreds came to see the fascinating lifestyle of the inhabitants, who lived in harmony with nature until their numbers eventually dwindled, leaving the rock homes deserted. It's hard to imagine such an intriguing piece of history fading away. Claire Hale from the National Trust, who now cares for these historic sites, shared some fascinating insights. Can you believe that those living in these rock houses enjoyed a higher quality of life compared to the urban dwellers during the Industrial Revolution? While city folks battled pollution and disease, with life expectancies barely reaching 50, the cave residents were thriving and living into their 80s. It's a jaw-dropping contrast. The earliest record of habitation in these caves dates back to 1617. But get this, Claire Hale believes they might have been used even earlier, possibly thousands of years before that. With an Iron Age hill fort nearby, it's entirely plausible that ancient people sought shelter in these caves long before they became permanent homes. The thought of such continuity over millennia is just mind-boggling. Due to the soft nature of the red sandstone, these caves could be easily expanded, and some of them grew to be quite substantial. Isn't it surprising to hear that these rock houses were more than just basic shelters? They were equipped with furniture, stoves, and even amenities like bathtubs and dining areas. Visitors often noted how cozy they were, staying warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Who would have thought these caves were so sophisticated? Yet, despite all these comforts, there was a surprising element of shame associated with living in the rock houses. Claire Hale noted that families didn't boast about their unique homes. Even though they had jobs and their children went to school like everyone else, they didn't advertise their unusual living situation. It's baffling to think about the social stigma that might have surrounded such a remarkable way of life. The story of these rock houses is a testament to adaptability and innovation. It's astonishing how these families turned natural rock formations into comfortable homes, blending seamlessly with the environment. The thought that they lived like this for hundreds of years, maintaining a lifestyle that balanced modernity and tradition, is simply awe-inspiring. Today, these rock houses stand as a reminder of a bygone era, cared for by the National Trust and visited by those curious about this fascinating part of England's history. It's incredible to think that such a unique way of life existed so recently in our past. Who knew that England had its very own cave dwellers living in such harmony with nature? The legacy of Kinver Edge and its rock houses is one of resilience and resourcefulness. The inhabitants managed to carve out a peaceful existence amidst the chaos of industrialization, choosing a path less traveled. Reflecting on their story, it's a reminder of the diverse and surprising history that can be found in the most unexpected places. It's truly a tale that continues to captivate and astonish. Wow! The history of the rock houses is absolutely fascinating. Originally mentioned in 1777 when Joseph Healy sought shelter during a storm, these structures have a rich narrative that's intertwined with the lives of many families over the centuries. Can you believe that by the 1861 census, there were already 11 families living in these remarkable homes? It's astonishing to think about the community that thrived in such unique conditions. Most of the residents were labourers, working on farms or at local ironworks, with a few engaged in diverse occupations like laundrywomen, boatmen, and even a postman. It's incredible how these rock houses provided a base for such varied livelihoods. Rose Novak, who lived in one until 1956, reminisced about her time there, describing the cozy two-room cottages with their sandstone walls and quarry tile floors. It almost feels like stepping back in time. What's even more surprising is how they cultivated their gardens, planting fruit trees like apple, plum, and pear. They grew an abundance of vegetables too. This self-sufficiency and connection to nature is something that seems almost idyllic, especially when contrasted with modern living. It makes you wonder what it would have been like to live in those rock houses during that era. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, these rock houses became a tourist attraction. People didn't vacation like we do today. Instead, they would take day trips to accessible places like Kinver Edge. This influx of visitors led to the establishment of a tramway run by the Kinver Light Railway in 1901, making it even easier for people from Amblecote and Dudley to visit. Isn't it amazing how a transportation service can transform an area into a hotspot? Those living in the rock houses were quick to capitalize on the tourism boom, setting up refreshments for the visitors. Margaret Handley, who grew up in Kinver, shared delightful memories of helping her relatives prepare teas in the 1920s for the tramway passengers. The image of families bustling about, making kettle after kettle of tea for eager tourists is just so heartwarming. Bill Reeves, another resident from that time, even recalled baking cakes at just 10 or 11 years old, preparing for the weekend crowds. Can you imagine the excitement of those summer weekends, filled with the sweet scent of freshly baked goods wafting through the air? However, as cars became more popular, the tramway service eventually closed, leading many to leave the rock houses for more modern conveniences. By the 1930s, most families had moved on, and the last residents departed in the 1960s, leaving the once vibrant rock houses to fall into decay. The shift from communal living in these historic homes to modernity is quite striking. The National Trust entered the scene in 1917 when they were gifted Kinver Edge by a family of landowners, but it wasn't until the 1980s that efforts began to preserve these remarkable structures. Can you believe that it took until 1993 for the first restorations to be completed? Further restoration efforts followed in 2010, highlighting the ongoing dedication to preserving this unique piece of history. Ms. Hale pointed out that they still need funds for maintenance and rock surveys, which is a testament to the continuing care these rock houses require. Despite their challenges, visitors are still amazed by the Kinver rock houses. They often refer to them as caves, but those who step inside quickly realize they are much more than that. The homes are equipped with cooking ranges, beds, furniture, and even windows and doors, making them feel lived in and welcoming. It's incredible how these structures can evoke such a sense of home, connecting past and present in such a surprising way.